Hello everyone, welcome to Taller del Hogar. This time we are going to repair this Oster blender. The problem it has is that it does not work. They tried to change the frame but it does not work. They thought it was the square but it was not even heard, so we discarded the painting. Even so, it is going to be given a little bit of maintenance and that little box is going to be changed. Here the problem is that they do not bring it disassembled. Here as we can see it no longer has the fan and the fan is no longer useful. Here this part is already flared or it is already dismantled. Made it larger in the center when it has to be half round as we commonly know it. We are going to try here because it does not work. If it is this problem of the switch card, well, or some other problem that if it is of the engine, carbons etc., we are going to test the fuse first. Here it is, it has continuity. We are going to try coals. No, they do not have continuity. So let's go for the coals, since this is probably the problem, since it becomes very common when a fan is damaged, that the coals are also damaged. Remember that if you like our content then you can. If you haven't done so, activate the bell and well here we can see that the coals are glued. I don't know if you managed to see that I stretched the spring or the spring and they don't come out. So what are we going to do? Let's remove this nut that. It is the one that grabs the fan. The advantage is that it brought all its parts. Well, they are simple things so they can get, but if you don't have them always take care where you leave all your parts. Since we remove this nut it has that nut and a pressure round, or it can be a same rondana to get stuck. Here we're going to remove these two 1/4 screws. Here it is, it's this little black guy that we see here and the other one on the other side. Why are we going to disassemble the engine? Well, most likely, coals are no longer useful or have already spoiled. You don't always run out of charcoal for you to have to replace. I don't know if I understand. A coal has to be replaced even when it is of a good size or a considerable size. Why does this happen? For example, in this case they overheated it or the fan was damaged. They overheated and swelled, which is the coal part. Look, they don't even come out. So that makes them stop sticking with the collector. The collector is that little thing of sheets that let's say where they stick the coals. Here, as we can see, we have on the left side one in good condition and on the right side one in bad condition. The one on the right side has even become curved. It has already swelled, which means that this coal is no longer useful. We're going to put the one on the left side that has to go in here. Let's say slide quite easy. Here if it doesn't it's because it has some little piece of dirt or something. We clean it and it has to be like this. The slot goes to the bottom. Ready, there it is. It must have that slack. All that movement. If you feel it a little tight you have to clean the corners well, because many times also when the bushings do not work it sticks these metal pieces or the carbon holder in the collector and leaves a burr and does not allow the carbons to slide. Here you could assemble and that's it. In this case I'm going to disassemble it to give it a little wipe. Give it a half adjustment to the motor. There, how do you do it? Well, let's disassemble this part here. Now we're going to remove what the armor is. This is called armor. The metals are called bridges and the fields are the ones we have there on the right with copper. Well, in this case they are already made of aluminum. This winding, but well, I understand here we already remove it. We are going to change that square as well. We are going to remove this from here we go. To remove this is called copal. Usually when you change the copal there are three pieces that are square, coupling and collar the collar because it is the top cap. Here it is we clean with isopropyl alcohol without, even if it has putty we are going to sit it a little with sandpaper. 2000, 1500 does not wear practically. I hope it wears very minimally, but practically the dirt is not going to generate a rectification. Here we already have it. We are going to put time on this side and now the bottom of the other bridge we are going to put it the same with its respective oil. And there is no loss when it comes to tightening it because it has two holes in the part, one the upper part, another one at the bottom, where the screws go. It is even where we see the screws. There you can see as if a little dot looks here to the side, almost where my nail is there, you can see a little dot. That little dot is a little bag that enters the field so that it does not move when you squeeze, practically so that it does not squeeze crooked. It comes out. Let's put this van when it arrives and a fourth usually if you overdo it, as it is. From the bottom, the sheet or the bottom one is a sheet. I practically have my tongue the jam. I'm already tired. I'm also preparing several videos because then I can't with the work, so I prepare videos for a whole month. Here we are. We've already finished screwing as I tell you this one. Remember that if you have any questions or something you can let me know on Facebook. You just have to follow me. I will answer all your doubts. We also have short videos on TikTok. If you find this type of long videos boring, then we also have them on TikTok or Rails. Here on Facebook and YouTube we also have a short video. Here it is, as you saw. I tapped him in case he feels a little tied up. If he feels free, don't hit him, but a tap, it's not strong. It's just to adjust the, let's say it's in the center the armor so that it rotates well. Here it is. What I always did to tighten is with a flat screwdriver, I put between the sheets of the armor to be able to tighten. We give it a squeeze. It is pressed clockwise. You can also put it in this way, as you see fit. Let's put it in. The motor goes like this and carries these sheets that are the supports. They're on top, or well, they're on the side I'm putting them on. Because if you put them first, it's not going to tighten what the casing is and the motor is going to move a lot, and that's a fault that they bring very often, that they change the frame or any little thing and they have that little flaw, so we put that in our charcoals. These coals are known as American coals. There are two types of coals, the National and the American. Practically the Oster. The National is the one that brings the spring. Let's say glued with a braid, that is the National one. This is the American one and it carries it as much as the American, and the Venezuelan one, which is also that, let's say that here in Mexico the engines are known, or we identify them as reversible, Venezuelan, Chinese and National more or less in other states. Even if there is another one that identifies it in another way, we put these Espadias. It has only two swords. These are the ones that are going to be the contact with the coals by means of the carbon carrier and by means of the spring we push with something if your finger does not enter like mine, which is all fat, but hey, you always have to figure it out. Now we're going to change what the fan is, this one. The fan is in charge of cooling the motor. Many think that it throws air at it. When most of them extract air, it is like an extractor. Here it is. This one is used but it is in good condition, so we are going to put the customer on it. What we want is that in this case it spends as little as possible. The customer, those coals are approximately 50 pesos a pair for a lot. If you want, I leave you a link in the description in case you want to acquire the coals for this type of blenders, and well, that's practically it. It's already here, everything is assembled. Let's make sure everything is fine. Let's go. To put its cover on it, and here it is. Look at the new square, we adjusted it, we gave it a little cleaning, and we are going to test all the buttons, and I forgot to connect it. We are going to connect it. As you can see, well, here it is already working on the transmission. It was not burnt engine and nothing, it was only a few. I hope you liked it and see you next time. Ciao.